1,800 videos per month. Most brands would kill for that kind of output. But here's the thing, at the level we operate, that is actually considered low volume. I'm going to share something with you that's going to completely reframe how you think about TikTok Shop content. The brands we're working with right now, they're sending 200 to 300 samples a week. Some of them are pushing 1,000 samples weekly. And our target, 1,000 to 2,000 videos posted per month. If those numbers sound insane to you, good. That means you need to hear what I'm about to say. Because here's the paradox. When you scale volume correctly, your revenue per video remains profitable. More samples means more videos, which means more revenue. But, and this is the critical part, only if you have the right systems in place. Today, I'm breaking down exactly how this works with real data from brands that we've scaled. My name is Mark, the founder of Consort Social. We've been running TikTok Shop for brands since 2023. We've generated over $50 million in track GMV, scaling brands like True Classic, Boom Boom, and My Smile. So when I talk about volume, I'm not theorizing. This is what we do every single day. Now, here's what most brands get wrong. They think that there's a ceiling to content. They think at some point, more videos means diminishing returns and quality drops, revenue per video tanks. That's not what we see. What we see is that the brands willing to invest in volume and build the systems to support it continue to scale linearly. Again, the massive caveat here being when you have the system. If you don't have the systems, your revenue per video will drop. By the end of this video, you're going to understand why 1,800 videos per month might actually be holding you back. Look, if you're serious about TikTok Shop, subscribe, because this is the content that separates brands doing 6 figures from the brands doing 7. Let me show you what we're actually seeing with the brands we work with. Over time, we've continued to push volume on TikTok Shop, and typically what you'd expect to see is the more sampling you do, the lower quality creators you're going to reach, and your revenue per sample or revenue per video is going to go down. But when you have the right things in place, when you have the right briefing and you're filtering creators properly, you're onboarding them and making sure they're set up for success, we are seeing a linear correlation. We're extending the amount of revenue we're getting for the same amount of samples. The reason is TikTok's algorithm, unlike other platforms where you're fighting for the same eyeballs, TikTok's For You page means every piece of content has a fresh chance to reach new audiences. Every video you post is another lottery ticket, another chance to hit, and when you're posting at volume, you're dramatically increasing your odds that something breaks through. So if your average revenue is $50 per video and you scale from 500 videos to 1,000 videos, if you do it properly, you will literally double your revenue. This is the scaling paradox. Most brands think they need to be precious about content, selective and quality over quantity. But the data shows that when you scale correctly, you don't sacrifice quality, you multiply your results. If you're just blasting samples randomly with no systems, yes, your revenue per video will tank. So let me show you how we prevent that. The systems I'm about to share have helped us generate over 143,000 videos for a single brand in just 1 year, without the quality collapsing. This is the stuff that most agencies won't tell you because honestly, it is hard to execute. System number 1, our 3-stage creator program. I've done an entire video on this, I'll link it in the description, but let me give you the overview because it's essential to understanding how volume works. When you're sending 200, 300, even 1,000 samples per week, you can't treat every creator the same. At the time of recording this, I promise you won't see any other agency talking about this. Everyone is still just blasting samples. They're pushing through some automated funnels and begging people to read their basic briefs, which, to be honest, the creators never do. The game has changed. If this is you or your agency, we are going deeper and more sophisticated so that we can outcompete, and that is why we're winning. We tier our creators into 3 stages. Now, stage 1 is like general program. These are the new creators we're testing. They get product, clear guidelines, and we see what they produce. It's low touch and we're kind of casting a wide net. To be honest, most won't perform, and that's expected. But some will surprise you, and those move to stage 2, which is the development program. These are creators who've shown potential. They get more attention, dedicated creator managers, feedback sessions on their content, and we're giving them dedicated coaching and education because we want to invest in that relationship because the data shows that they can produce. And then stage 3 is the elite creators. Now these are your proven performers, your top 5 to 10%, and they get priority products, exclusive offers, direct communication. They are literally an extension of your internal team and they should be treated as such. Like they get the red carpet treatment and you make sure they feel it. Here's why this matters for scaling. Stage 1 is where your volume lives. You're constantly recruiting, constantly sending samples and testing new creators. It's kind of like your top of funnel. But you're not trying to get stage 1 performance from everyone. You're running a filter. The cream is going to rise to stage 2 and then on to stage 3. The creators in stage 3, they are producing 10x the results of stage 1. But you would never have found them and got them committed without doing the volume first. This system lets you scale to 2,000 videos a month because you're not trying to make every video perfect. You're building a machine that identifies winners and then doubles down on them. Volume at the top, quality filters in the middle, and performance at the bottom. But most brands are going to try and skip stage 1 and they're going to go, find me the perfect creators. I'm going to be honest, it's hard to scale. You need the funnel. Now, system number 2 is detailed briefing built around replication. This is where most brands completely overthink their content. Here's what they do. They create elaborate creative briefs, brand guidelines, mood boards, the do's and the don'ts, pages long, and then they send this to creators and wonder why the content feels forced or that the creators just not even read the brief. Here's what we do instead. We find winning videos, either from our brand or from competitors, and we make those the briefs. We tell creators, like, here's a video that is working, here's why it works, just make your own version of this. They don't need to reinvent the wheel. The wheel already exists. We have tested what converts, we know the hooks that work, and we know the formats that perform. When you're operating at scale, your job is not to get the creators to be creative, it's to get the creators executing on proven formulas in their own voice. Think about it like a franchise. Like McDonald's doesn't tell each restaurant to figure out how to make burgers, they just give them the system. Same result, scalable. When we brief creators this way, a few things happen. One, the barrier to content creation drops, so they're not just staring at a blank page. They know exactly what to make. And two, the quality stays consistent. We're not hoping that they guess right, we're just pointing them at proven winners. And then three, we can brief at volume. This isn't a custom creative process for each video, it is just a system where you're trying to replicate proven winners at scale. The brands that are posting 2,000 videos per month, they are not writing 2,000 custom briefs. They're running 5 to 10 proven formats through hundreds of creators. Just replicate what works. That is the second system. System 3 is the one that most brands completely ignore until it's too late. But it is the one that will help you maintain this long term. And system 3 is building a creator community as you grow. The mistake that I see constantly, brands will scale their creator program, hit 500 or 1,000 creators, and suddenly everything starts to break down. The communication becomes chaos, the creators just start to feel like numbers, and your best performers just get poached by your competitors. Your retention sucks. The solution is community. As you scale, you need somewhere to house your creators, a place that they belong and they can connect with each other, and basically somewhere that your program feels like being part of something. For us, this typically means like a dedicated space, either a Discord or a WhatsApp, where the creators can get updates directly from the brand. They can ask questions, get quick answers. Most importantly, they can share wins and learn from each other. Because again, think about it, these people are sitting at home making videos in their bedroom. They don't necessarily speak to people every day. They want to feel like they're part of something in a wider community, not just a transaction with your brand. Here's the flywheel effect. A strong community means better retention. Creators stick around longer because there's social value, not just that transactional value. And better retention means that you're not constantly replacing churned creators. Your stage 2 and stage 3 creators stay with you. And consistent creators mean consistent quality. They know your brand, they know what works, and they just get better over time. When you're sending more than 200 samples a week, you're constantly adding new creators. Without community, it's just a revolving door. Community is the moat. It is what lets you maintain quality as you scale. And honestly, it's the system that most brands never get right because it does require real investment. It's not just sending products, it is building relationships at scale. Let me give you the actual numbers we're operating at so you can benchmark. And by the way, I'm talking to the brands who want to aim for $1 million months. If you're a beginner here, you can tone down the sample numbers slightly, but the theory remains the same. You better be prepared to scale volume. Now, when I first started talking about these numbers a while ago, people thought I was exaggerating. Like 1,800 videos a month sounds like a lot, especially when you're coming from Meta and you're making like 20 videos a week. But when you break it down, 300 samples per week times 4 weeks equals 1,200 samples per month. 1,200 samples times 3 videos per sample request, so that's 3,600 potential videos, Even at a 50% post rate, that's 1,800 videos, and your post rate is going to be higher than 50%. That's not crazy volume, it's just maths. And the brands that understand that math are operating at a completely different level than the brands that think sending 50 samples a month is aggressive. The gap between brands doing 50k and brands doing 1 million a month, a lot of it just comes down to this. Are you willing to operate at the volume the platform is going to reward you for? Let me bring all this together. The TikTok Shop scaling paradox. More volume doesn't necessarily mean lower quality. When you have the right systems, more volume can mean linear growth. Having a 3-stage creator program, volume at the top, quality in the middle, and then performance at the bottom. Second, having detailed briefing built around replication, have your core winning formats that everybody is recreating. And then 3, genuine long-term retention with a good community. Quality at scale is the unlock. If you're a brand sitting at a few hundred samples per month thinking that's enough, it's not. If you want to compete with the brands that are taking this seriously, you're going to have to do more volume. Now, yes, you want to make sure that you're tracking these numbers, you're tracking your revenue per video, and making sure that that's continuing to scale, but you have to start to push and be aggressive. If you want the deep dive on the 3-stage creator program, I'll link that video in the description. It is worth watching. And if you're a brand that you want help building these systems, the link in the description. This is what we do. We can just help install all of this for you. Hit subscribe if you want more content like this. I'm posting weekly, breaking down what's actually working on TikTok Shop at scale.